Hi, and welcome back to the channel. Last week's video was about taking a list of properties and kind of breaking that down to the top 4 or 5 that you wanted to see on a trip to get out with your agent. I think last week specifically we looked at 16 to kind of start, and I think I narrowed that down to 4 is what we were going out to look at. As we narrowed those properties down, we also started doing some comparison. We started looking at the images that were online that have been posted. We were doing some research with Google Maps and really just getting an idea of what the properties are, what they were about, and kind of doing that comparison. Now, once I've done that comparison, we're going out, we're seeing the properties. What I want to do today is just give you some more insight as to what I do once I start breaking those properties down. The first thing that I'm going to do as I'm just kind of approaching the properties, I'm getting into the neighborhood, is I'm going to start assessing the ease of resale. So I know I'm going to buy a property, or at least I think I'm going to buy a property in this neighborhood. What I want to start doing is seeing how easy is it going to be to resell this property. So while doing that, I'm looking at things such as what are the schools that are close? I'm looking at the parks that are there. I'm looking at the neighborhoods itself. I'm looking at, are there other properties that are for sale as kind of I'm driving through the neighborhood and look at these homes. I'm trying to determine what is the actual demand for properties in this area. Once I determine that, it's helping me get to the house and either be more comfortable about the property, or it will cause some skepticism and is this kind of the right area or the right property to be purchasing. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm looking at the ease of resale, really assessing the neighborhood and understanding what type of problems or issues I may have in reselling this, or how easy it's going to be. So once I've done that, the second thing that I want to do is I am going to be about just taking notes, and taking notes. I don't think I can say this enough. When you get to the property, a lot of times I have some paper with me to kind of write on, or a printout of the property that allows me to jot down some notes. I'm taking notes about everything that I thought I had done in terms of homework prior to visiting the property. So again, I went through all the images of the property, I took down some notes. Now what I'm doing is reaffirming those notes through the actual visit of the property. So again, I'm looking at things like the roof, the heating and air, the windows. Do I need to update kitchen? Do I need to update bathrooms? Do I need to replace drywall? Am I removing walls? Am I painting interior, exterior? Is there landscaping work that needs to be done? So all of these things that I was assessing prior to going out to see the property, I'm reassessing as I'm on the property, and I'm really trying to determine how close were my kind of actuals versus what I was estimating in terms of needing to be addressed at the property. I'm going to tell you again, take notes. Take as many notes as you can. As you're taking notes, one of the things you'll start to find that you will do as you become more experienced in this is I'm also writing down some dollar figures or amounts that may coincide with some of the items that need to be fixed. I'll show a couple examples here. Here are a couple examples that I did from the property visit last week and just some of the notes that I'm jotting down. As you see, what I'm doing is I'm going through and making those comparisons and really figuring out what each of these properties are going to need in order for me to get them back on the market and for me to resell them in this neighborhood. So I'm taking notes, take as many as you can, and when you leave those properties, you want those notes so that you can continue to kind of crunch the numbers. And that leads me to the third one. You've got to come back, you've got to spend time crunching numbers. I've got to know what I'm buying this property for. I got to know how much I need to invest to get it back on the market to sell. Now, once I know the sale price, I need to be able to take everything that I've invested, subtract it from that sale price to figure out what is the revenue that I would have from this property. Then I need to start determining, is it the right revenue for me? Is there too much risk associated with this property? Is it the right amount of risk? Is it a great property? It's a simple, this is something you should really look at moving forward on and submitting an offer, but you've got to crunch the numbers. I like to say that if I'm thinking about investing in a property, I want to get out, I want to see, just say 100. I know that sounds like overkill, but you've got to see what properties are on the market. If I see 100, I'm probably breaking down and I'm probably crunching the numbers for at least 25 of them. 25% is I'm going out there, I'm seeing it, I think it could potentially be a good buy. I start crunching numbers and I'm starting to think, is this the right investment for me? Now, out of those 25 that I'm crunching, I obviously don't make offers on all of them. I would say it's even a smaller list of that. Maybe I do end up breaking that down to one or two that I think are great buys and potential offers moving forward. To just kind of wrap all of this up, as you're getting out and you're seeing these properties, again, I was out looking at 4 to 5 different properties. Make sure you're kind of assessing the neighborhood and understanding that ease to kind of resell, if you will. The second thing is make sure you're taking tons of notes. Write everything down, jot everything down. And then third, you've got to crunch the numbers. If you're not crunching the numbers to figure out what can you really make on this property, then you're not going to be successful in kind of doing this moving forward. These are the steps that I take after I've gotten out and I've seen properties. I hope today is helpful for you. If there's any questions or comments, don't forget, leave them below and I'll be happy to get to them. Thanks again.